At the reception last night, I heard something from a couple of the new winners that I had heard in previous years, where they told me that they wondered if some mistake hadn't been made. They weren't sure they really belonged here with all of these other so impressive teachers. That is something in psychology we call the imposter syndrome. And as a former psychology professor, I feel obligated to give you this lecture. The imposter syndrome is a perfectly normal feeling that most of us have at some time during our lives, so that, for example, I wonder what the hell I'm doing on this board. I mean, other than the name, of course. And then this morning at the symposium, you got to hear the incredible accomplishments of some of the past winners and the activities in which they're engaged, which probably didn't help, made you feel even more like an imposter. But that's not the message that you should have taken away. The message that you should have taken away is that the Carlston Foundation never makes mistakes. With the possible exception of putting me on the board, of course. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce Ciera Serrano, who has a mother who is a Native American, a father who is Mexican, neither of whom much supported her educational efforts. She grew up on a reservation near a small rural town called Valley Center, and she was the first, and despite having several siblings, the only member of her family to go to college and get a college degree. She attended Sierra Nevada College, initially on a lacrosse scholarship. As you might imagine, she obviously played lacrosse in high school. She was also captain of the cheerleading team, vice president of the Associate Student Body, and winner of the Academic Scholar Award. And at Sierra Nevada College, she got her degree in global business administration in 3.5 years. Went to South Africa, where she spent time helping people build houses and tutoring students. And she's now an administrative assistant at a cloud computing company in Seattle. And I had to go to great lengths to extract any of this information from her because she's so modest that she thought her only accomplishment was going to college, but obviously she's accomplished much, much more. So it is my pleasure to introduce Ciera.
Gonna be honest, that introduction made me want to cry. So I'm sorry if the tears start flowing, but thank you, Carlston Foundation, for nominating or awarding, I guess, Ms. Rienick this amazing award. She's well deserving of it. I'm gonna try and go off paper so I don't cry. What I appreciate about Ms. Rienick is the fact that she cares about each and every one of her students. She cares so much that she taught and grew alongside us from freshman, sophomore, junior, and yes, even senior year. She is wholeheartedly herself and encourages her students to do the same by loving who they are and not to be embarrassed about being goofy and having some fun. She was a great mentor for a lot of students, making us all excited to show up to class and push ourselves to the fullest capacity. Some students have said she teaches us the required materials while pushing us to stay opinionated and true to our beliefs. Even on her roughest days, she always had the warmest of smiles and such a pure heart. Ms. Rienick makes real connections with kids, which helps draw out the best in them. Her personality, loving care, and spirit brought students light, love, and happiness, even through each and every essay we wrote. She puts an extraordinary amount of time coordinating extracurriculars like Poetry Out Loud and Gay Straight Alliance. Never has any teacher believed in the potential of every single one of her students like she does. We will never be able to express how grateful and blessed we are to have had a teacher like that invests so much time into making everyone the absolute best versions of themselves. When asking previous students their opinions of Miss Rienick, the terms that I got from them were wonderful, extraordinary, exceptional, fun, and one of a kind. Each and every one of those students expressed how much that her class inspired their inner writer with those conjunctive adverbs, analytical thinking, and making everyone feel welcome during all classroom activities, allowing her to create such a wholesome and unforgettable class environment. Everything from the everyday radiant energy that we all received from Miss Rienick to her expressing her love for horses and dragons, all inspired us not to be afraid of who we are as individuals. Miss Rienick is respected among her colleagues for her wit and dedication to VCHS and her students. The class of 2014 was lucky enough to have her as the commencement speaker for graduation. Not only did she see us coming into high school, she guided us through it and watched us leave. These reasons and many more are why Crystal Rienick deserves every ounce of this award. I was very excited when the opportunity presented itself and took the time to nominate Miss Rienick for her determination to mold such a diverse group of kids at Valley Center High School. Miss Rienick, us students cannot thank you enough for all the laughs and all the preparation to be successful in college. You are truly a gift to VCHS and one that definitely deserves this recognition. Thank you for being such a mother hen to all of your English students, and congratulations.
That's okay. Wow. I feel like a love grenade just went off, and I'm going to cry a lot. And I wrote some things down because I think I have the propensity, like a lot of teachers, to bird walk, and if I don't read off of this, I'm going to talk about porcupines or cheese or something like that. So forgive me. But, Ciera, thank you so much. As you all can see, she's a strong, confident, beautiful young woman, and it was an honor to have you as a student. And this poor girl, as she said, was stuck with me for 3 consecutive years, and each year it was a subject I'd never taught before. So it was an absolute blessing to have that class, and especially Ciera, who was so strong and would always check me up when I needed to be checked up. And I'm so glad you're here tonight, too, because if I go off script, I'll just look over there. She'll let me know. And it being November, it is this season to be thankful, and I have a lot to be thankful for. Thank you to the Carlston Family Foundation, especially Papa Tim Allen, for what you do and for an incredible experience. Thank you to all the honorees, current and former, for your dedication, your contributions, your inspiration. There's no wonder that the word family is part of the Carlston Family Foundation. Thank you to all my former teachers as well in my life for their support and who inspired me to pay it forward. And thank you to my family, my mom, my dad, my husband, who are here tonight.
Love you, babe.
Who sometimes upstage me. But I love you anyway. They are the definition of supportive. And I'd like to tell you just how supportive. I was an awkward kid in middle school, like we all are. But that awkwardness continued to grow and develop all the way through high school, where I best could be defined as a goth punk Dungeons and Dragons playing ultra geek. And through all that, my family loved and supported me to the degree that my mom would actually take me shopping for black clothes and dragon jewelry. Thanks, Mom. And there were teachers, special teachers, who looked past the black lipstick and the 4-inch dagger I wore around my neck until security made me take it out. It wasn't sharp. There were special teachers who connected with me on a level beyond the curriculum. There was Mrs. Tolles. While she tried to teach me my times tables, she instead connected with me through humor. The day she accidentally said fire farters instead of firefighters, she laughed right along with the rest of us. And there was Mr. Senick. While he'd tried to teach me how to write a topic sentence, he instead connected with me through his passion for literature as he recited Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in his Shakespearean baritone. And there was Mrs. Oberhaus. While she tried to teach me to write a sonnet, she instead connected with me the day that she noticed me trying to discreetly have a meltdown over a boy in the back of the classroom. And at the end of class, she simply came over and sat down and she listened. She shared that understanding and that empathy. She didn't judge me for the stupid teenager angst I was spouting over a guy who, looking back now, is a dead ringer for Napoleon Dynamite. I upgraded. Instead, she just shared that understanding with me. And I'm thankful for those connections, and thankful that I am now in a position to pay that concept of connection forward. Because that's what teaching is. It isn't about our curriculum, as so many of you have said before, and I don't know why I feel like I still need to say that, except it's written on this paper and I'm too nervous to deviate. But it is about connection. We connect students to the world. We connect them to each other. We connect them to themselves. And through that, we connect them to their purpose and their future. And of course, we connect to them personally. We're like switchboard operators from the 1960s or big fat spiders sitting in the middle of webs. Choose your analogy. But we have to be. For so many students, we're all that they have. And coming back to gratitude, because I teach my students to have a cohesive theme and to come back full circle. I'm thankful to be a teacher and to have this responsibility. My husband and I don't have kids unless you count our small herd of chihuahuas. And so my students become my kids. It's like the case for so many of you. So thank you again to the Carlston Family Foundation. Thank you for creating a program that allows students to thank former teachers. I wish there had been such a program when I was in college so that I could thank those teachers who connected with me and helped shape my life. It's wonderful to be recognized by colleagues in administration, but when a student sincerely says thank you, it recharges my batteries and helps me to remember that teachers, like you all here, inspire the future of society. So for the last time, I promise, thank you.